What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Light Lucifer Prince coming at y'all once again. Welcome. For those who have came to view another one of my videos for 2026, if it's your first time here, I suggest you stay. If you just happen to find this by happenstance, it's a reason why. Everything happens for its design purpose. I believe so anyway. Now, also to mention, I do give disclaimers if it's your first time here. This video is not for children, okay? So if you're watching this video around children, remove them from your immediate vicinity, as my videos are not for children, okay? Capiche, capiche. All right. Also to mention, this does not constitute legal advice, all right? I am not a lawyer. I am just the individual who is mature and of sound mind and who loves to read, okay? Now that we got that out the way, this video is going to be raw, straight to the point. Now, I know I said it doesn't constitute legal advice, but hear me out. I will touch on certain legal references that I will do, and this is just for clarity. Am I condoning anything illegal in what I'm getting ready to say? No. Everything I'm saying is legal because legal means with your consent. Okay? So the title of this video is How to Keep Your Vehicle 101. I touched on this about sometime early last year in a previous video. And I was talking about the fraud in regards to dealerships and the contracts in which they extend. Now, anyone can challenge me on this if you don't believe what I'm saying. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. Trust you me, you can do your own research. You can look it up yourself. Now, I'm going to use me as an example, speak on my behalf, right? That way it's no misunderstanding. I'm not telling you what someone else did. I'm just telling you what I did. Okay? I'm using me as an example, as I continuously have done time and time again on my channel. Now I feel like I got that out the way. I'm going to also use corresponding laws. That way you can understand that what I'm saying is very true. Now, this is how you keep your vehicle, people. It's everyone's dream that's of competent, sound mind, that's an adult, that's legally able to sign documentations, to own or purchase a vehicle. We know this. Now, it becomes deceptive when you're not really reading the contract itself. A contract has 4 parts: offer, consideration, acceptance, and the signature of the individuals. Only those who are involved with the contract are only allowed to discuss the contract. There should be no third parties involved. Why do I say this? Dealerships tell you they're financing you if you go through finance. Some people just go the regular route. Those few who have the ability to cash instead of credit a vehicle, but it's still a credit purchase. Whether you pay cash, you really didn't pay anything, or whether you use credit, you really didn't pay anything either. Now, what do I mean? In a sense that materialistically, they say we financed you. To this day, and being as of coming of the age of 38 years old this year, I have yet to see a functional financing contract and or a check that therefore declares that these individuals financed me. What did they use to finance you? You might be asking now, because it might be sounding a little confusing. They're using your signature. That is the most valuable asset that you have at your disposal in a bankrupt system. Your signature. You don't have to take my word for this. Your signature is a guarantee that you're going to pay something back. But here's how they get you. Because in the financing contract is a such thing called a promissory note. A promissory note is a signed document that agrees to stipulation and conditions which you agree to unknowingly to finance or repay back a loan. If you never sign anything with knowledge, full knowledge, and information regarding it, it is not a legitimized contract. I don't care what no one says. This is what the law says. Okay? We're going to get there because I want you to stick with me. Okay. So I know a lot of people like, because I'm not a very long-winded person. They're like, oh, so how do you keep your vehicle? Good question. Great answer. Now, upon purchase of a vehicle, which you rightfully own, if they require a set down payment, so forth, there is a particular way that you can basically go back and get your down payment. Because again, if you didn't know with full knowledge and intent that the contract was fraudulent, you're not responsible for anything. So what you would do is you would draft up a letter for loan denial. Okay? And this is all civil. Okay, so for all the scaredy cats that think that this is criminal, the only criminals is the dealership in this instance. Now, you do what's called a letter of loan denial. Basically, you're telling the dealership, I'm letting you know that according to this financing contract, you didn't give me anything. All it does say on the financing contract is the value of the vehicle and how much you're willing to pay back with interest to a third party. But remember, there should be no third parties in regards to any contract because only the parties involved with signing the contract can discuss it. So who are these so-called banks that are sitting here alleging that you owe them anything? They never showed you anything. They never showed you proof, documentation. Dealerships will try to sway you and say, well, you signed the contract. Yes, I did. I signed a promissory note under the auspices that I was being financed, but there's no proof of finance whatsoever. This is an absolute fact, people. So when you really look at it for what it's worth, a lot of y'all are really doubly paying for something that you've already paid for. You're making payments every month. You're continuously driving yourself further into slavery. Okay, now, what do I mean? Because a vehicle is a means to an end. It's necessary to travel to and fro. And then they also turn over your property to the state and they basically register it without your consent or full knowledge. And then they also make you pay taxes on it too. See, the beautiful thing is I made my way through all the steps necessary to absolve myself of any liability, to absolve myself of any alleged debt whatsoever, disputed on credit as well. We'll get there later. And to remove it from the control of the state by deregistration. Also, through the Department of Revenue in the state in which you reside, you file for exemption. Guess what you've done? You literally have gotten a car free and clear. But how do you keep it? You still might be asking. Well, this is where it gets a little bit fun, but I'm being real. Underneath certain credit laws and certain guidelines, a creditor, and I'm doing quotation marks for a reason, a creditor only has up to 180 days to basically try to procure the property. Now, this is where it gets fun. You got to learn how to move that motherfucker. You got to learn how to move that motherfucker. I'm just going to let you know right now. You may be thinking, oh, this is illegal. Trust me, it can't be if you sign for something that you basically own. It ain't like you went to the dealership and stole the keys and took it off the lot. Let's be realistic now. We're adults in 2026. So, yeah, you're gonna have to learn how to move it. You're gonna have to learn how to bob and weave with it. But after a while, they charge off. So now once they charge off, after you maneuvered, you're gonna have to do some maneuvering now. I'm just gonna be real with you. Ask me how I know. So basically, they charge it off. So now they basically are also committing another fraud, because here's the code that proves exactly to what I'm saying is, and alludes to what I'm saying is very true. False and misleading representations. This is 15 United States Code, subsection 1692E. Now, that's one code that talks about it. But what is false and misleading representations? Misleading representation. In legal and commercial context, a false or misleading representation occurs when information provided is untrue or creates a false impression, potentially leading another party into an agreement or action they would otherwise avoid. So, I don't think anyone in their right mind would pay for a vehicle twice. Okay? Fraudulent misrepresentation. Knowingly making a false statement with the intent to deceive others. This is according to commercial and contract law. Negligent misrepresentation. Providing false information without reasonable grounds for believing it to be true, often due to carefulness. But this doesn't apply in that sense. Now, they also have what's called innocent misrepresentation, making an untrue statement while genuinely believing it to be true at the time, which is you, the individual who basically signed the financing contract, and it could be looked at as being innocent, correct? So we can look at it through a multifaceted point of view. Now, debt collection. Under Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, debt collectors cannot falsely imply that they are affiliated with the government, use fake attorneys, names, or threaten illegal actions, i.e. repossession. Repossession is illegal because the vehicle you are, on paper, described as the owner. They are illegally providing a promissory note to usurp the control of the title of the vehicle. Now, do you get where I'm cooking with this? I hope you do. Finances and securities, which is what they do when they monetize the promissory note. It becomes a security. So the alleged creditor is using a falsified security, which is called securities fraud, to basically illegally assume control over property that you own. What is it? Misrepresenting material facts to induce investors to buy or sell securities is considered fraud under the Securities Exchange Act. These are all laws now, people. This is not something I'm cooking up to convince you to do something that I wouldn't have done myself, which I have done. Now, when it comes to drip pricing, false affiliations, and so forth, these are prohibited conduct examples. You could also look up 12 CFR 1006.18, which is also false and misleading misrepresentation. So, is your remedy in a federal court? No, it's not. They're going to kick that case out so fast. Because again, they're all in on it together. I'm just letting you know right now. You can file it. You can show your paperwork and documentation. But all they're going to do is they're going to utilize their attorneys to basically say, hey, is what it is. Your only best bet you can do is in the period of time, because at the time of a dispute of a collection, they cannot repossess your vehicle until it's determined whether or not they actually have the right to repossess it. Which, if you keep filing and keep arguing, so you don't have to keep, ducking and dodging and looking over your shoulder or having sleepless nights, because you want to hear that outside, you can also go to the Security and Exchange Commission. Or stick by the arbitration clause that's in the contract as well. You can do that as well. And state your claim. Use your proofs and your documentation to say, hey, they never loaned me anything. And if they did, they need to prove it. They can never prove it because they sold the security and they monetized it. So can they ever get the original promissory note back? Of course not. It's sort of like you getting an actual check and you're taking that check to the bank. You can't make a copy of that check and basically say, I want to take the copy and turn it into the bank. The bank says, no, we need the original. That's just your proof. That's just your receipt. That's what these dealerships do. Credit card companies and mortgage companies as well. There is no big difference between any one of them. So, what you just learned in less than 18 minutes is how to keep your vehicle legitimately. And I'm going to make sure I put that in the title. Don't let somebody come take something away from you under no condition. What I will say is I'm not getting promoted for this, but there is a way you can build your credit fast. There are so many AI models that literally will do the work for you in probably a fraction of the time. It's pretty much what I'm in school for right now. Yes, I am. As an engineer, and the individuals is basically telling you engineering and training, basically letting you know you can build your credit fast by using certain AI models as well. So what would take you 6 months would normally take you at least 30 days or less, depending on which model you use. It could take less than 30 days. But this is just advice for you to just basically reestablish your credit if your credit does happen to take a hit by them actually trying to dispute it. See, this is the reason why knowing technology and knowing law is going to save your ass in these next few years, whether you believe it or not. It's the only safest way you're going to make it through this next few years. AI is taking over. It's literally putting lawyers out of positions. Literally. You do not even have to hire an attorney. All you have to do is just know how to use AI and put the right correct question in and basically build yourself. Trust me, you can do it. What will cost you thousands, depending on what you use it for? I use AI every single day. And no, I'm not AI in this video. This is really me. But yeah, I use it every day. Every single day. And you're going to start using it too, because whether you believe it or not, you probably already are and just don't even know it. So why not use it to your advantage? I know I am. You know what I'm saying? So basically, people, this is exactly how you legitimately identify how you can keep your car under legal pretenses without no involvement from the legal system whatsoever. Tough Titty says to Kitty, so what? The dealership robbed you the moment you signed that contract, whether you believe it or not. The moment you signed that contract and the moment you signed that blue line on that e-pad, they already got you. They got you. Then they get you a third time on the interest if you're making interest-bearing payments on it too. So you really got 3 times. So I'm just going to be the one that's going to just basically say, open your eyes, people, because this is how it works. This is the model. This is the framework. This is the construction of it. But this is how you can keep your vehicle. If this is your first time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. If you would like to contact me for more information regarding credit cards, regarding mortgages, and regarding the auto situation, if you didn't understand it, I'll leave my email in the video description and we can set up a consultation. It is what it is. Just an hour of your time. I believe you'll get more than what you get in this video, that I can assure you of. But yes, let us have a wholesome approach and stop getting robbed. Okay, people? This is legit. I did it, and I still have my vehicle to this day. Charged off. So, do I have to keep running and hide from the throat? No, I don't. No, I don't. But again, it's not what you know, it's how you use it and apply it. Other than that, get used. Until next time, people, like I said, also to mention, if you would like to donate to my channel, I have been demonetized since 2022. But that still didn't discourage me from basically still kicking the knowledge, still coming, still going. I'll leave my PayPal and I'll leave the Cash App description. Feel free to do what you will. But that's still not going to stop me from giving you the spill, let you know what's going on, and keeping you ahead of the curve. Thank y'all for watching my video. Appreciate it. And agents, fuck you. Peace, light, love. I'm out.